Certainly, Arrakis is the hallmark of the Dune world, as the main plot of the saga unfolds here. However, apart from this desert planet, there were other worlds, equally unique and amazing. And incidentally, at different times of the Empire, some of these planets played a much more significant role than Arrakis. Some of them were practically paradise, with mild climate, beautiful nature, and peaceful life. Others, on the contrary, were places where no one would want to be voluntarily. What are these planets, and what role did they play in the Dune world? This planet was a beautiful and fertile water world. Most of the surface was covered by water, populated with numerous and diverse life forms. But the planet also had 3 continents. The largest was located in the west and was the most populated. Here was the main mass of the planet's inhabitants. Here was its capital, the residence of the Atreides, and the main enterprises. The eastern continent was a place of residence for primitive peoples and religious communities. The southern continent was particularly fertile and was famous for producing excellent wine, known throughout the Empire. In ancient times, Caladan was an unallied planet. That is, it was not part of either the League of Nobles or the Synchronized Machine Empire. Once it was visited by wandering Zensunnites, the ancestors of the Fremen, but they were forced to continue their wanderings across the galaxy. Here, during the War of Humanity against the Machines, Vorian Atreides established a military base. Vorian also left 2 children on this planet. Decades later, Vorian's descendants along this line became rulers of the planet, and here House Atreides was born. All subsequent Atreides were born here and ruled Caladan for 10,000 years. Everything changed when Emperor Shaddam IV Corrino took the planet from Duke Leto Atreides and ordered him to move to Arrakis. Caladan was then handed over to Count Hasimir Fenring for management. When Paul Atreides overthrew the Emperor and took his place, he returned control of Caladan. Paul handed the planet first to his childhood friend, and then to his mother Jessica and his former mentor Gurney Halleck. The planet Corrino was a world in the Old Empire with elevated radiation levels, and therefore not very suitable for human life. However, during the times of the Titans, who overthrew the Old Empire and founded their own state on its ruins, people still lived here. The planet was ruled by Titan Alexander, who by that time had turned himself into a Cymek, a cyborg. Alexander was served by numerous slaves, with whom he was incredibly cruel. The slaves eventually rose in rebellion, which was only suppressed by another Titan, Ajax. Then the time of the Titans passed. Their place was taken by the AI Omnius. Omnius had several versions on different planets, which constantly synchronized with each other. Prime, that is, the main one, was Omnius on Earth. However, it was destroyed by humans, and then the main became Omnius on Corrino. Humans, at the cost of incredible sacrifices, managed to defeat the forces of the thinking machines and lock the remaining ones on Corrino. Then followed the final battle of Corrino, in which humans won. One of the leaders of humanity in that battle was Phycon Butler, who after the victory became emperor and took the surname Corrino. His dynasty ruled for a whole 10,000 years. However, the planet Corrino itself was so devastated in that war that it became uninhabitable. Originally, this planet was very much like Earth, with a pleasant and comfortable climate, large water reserves, forests, fields, fertile lands, etc. Interestingly, the Zensunnites also visited Salusa Secundus, but here they became slaves and thus fled after 9 generations. During the decline of the Old Empire, a successful and wealthy merchant named Bovko Manresa settled on this planet. When the Titans overthrew the Old Empire, Manresa declared Salusa Secundus an independent world, and representatives from many other worlds began to fly to him to form alliances. This planet became a meeting place and gathering spot for all those who opposed the Titan Empire. From these meetings eventually emerged the League of Nobles, and Salusa Secundus became its capital. The planet repelled several attacks by the thinking machines, and after the victory of humans, it became the capital of the new Corrino Empire. Salusa Secundus maintained this status until the reign of Corrino III, during which the Great House Tantor launched a rebellion. Tantor dropped atomic bombs on Salusa Secundus, destroying the world's ecosystem, turning a thriving region with a mild climate into a dangerous place inhabited by mutants and vicious creatures where unpredicted cataclysms frequently erupted. Afterward, the Emperor moved the capital to the planet Kaitain and made Salusa Secundus a prison for the most dangerous criminals. In reality, the planet became a base for training Imperial Sardaukar, invincible warriors who for thousands of years were the guarantors of the Emperor's power. When Paul Atreides came to power, he banished the deposed Emperor Shaddam IV Corrino to Salusa Secundus, promising to transform the planet into a flourishing land. This was done to ensure Corrino could no longer train the fearsome Sardaukar. Paul ordered the terraformation of Salusa Secundus, and it became a regular world. Lankiveil was a planet with a harsh climate, located on the periphery of the Empire. The planet was predominantly covered with water, but due to low temperatures, a significant part of the surface turned into ice. The main and only wealth of Lankiveil were giant whales, whose fur was incredibly valued throughout the Empire. During the War of Humans Against Machines, one of the main military leaders of the League of Nobles' army, Abelard Harkonnen, disobeyed Vorian Atreides' orders, leading to significant casualties. For this, Abelard was exiled from the League to Lankiveil, at that time a poor and remote planet. There, the House of Harkonnen was founded. In subsequent years, Abelard's descendants amassed a fortune by speculating on whale fur. The capital they gained allowed them to return to the League, and the planet Lankiveil belonged to them for many thousands of years. This planet had a strong Zensunni community. When Paul Atreides seized power in the Empire, the Zensunnites of Lankiveil refused to recognize him as the greatest of prophets, and therefore the Fremen stormed Lankiveil, where they destroyed all the local Zensunni monasteries. During the War of Humanity Against Machines, this was one of the planets within the League of Nobles. The ruler of the planet was called Magnus, and he had full authority there. However, Giedi Prime was captured by the machines, and for some time one of the versions of Omnius settled there. Humans, at the cost of considerable sacrifices, managed to liberate the planet, and Xavier Harkonnen, friend and colleague of Vorian Atreides, played a significant role in this. Years later, the Harkonnens obtained this planet for their management and built numerous factories there, which almost destroyed the nature of Giedi Prime. Also, many residents of Giedi Prime were slaves and worked in harsh conditions. When House Harkonnen was destroyed by Paul Atreides, Giedi Prime was renamed Gammu and came under the management of Caladan. The factories and enterprises were dismantled, and over the following years, the planet's ecology was almost completely restored. Then, many millennia later, Gammu became an important base for the Bene Gesserit Order. Originally, this planet was called Rodel Ix, and was populated by descendants from Old Earth, presumably Chinese. It was here that a man who would eventually become one of the Titans, Xerxes, was born. Xerxes was initially the son of the planet's ruler, making it easy for him to seize power and rename Rodel Ix to Ix. After the Titans, this planet came under the control of the thinking machines and was then liberated by humans along with other worlds. The rulers of Ix became the Great House Vernius. The Verni built their wealth on the production of spaceships, which they sold to the Spacing Guild. They kept the secrets of their production hidden underground so that no outsiders could access it. Because of this, in the assembly of the noble houses of the Landsraad, the Verni were accused of violating the sacred prohibition on the production of computers and other machines. At the end of the Corrino Empire, there was a period when the Bene Tlilax, who sought access to local technologies and tried to create artificial melange spice on the planet, seized power on Ix. However, they failed, and as a result of a rebellion, the Tlilaxu were forced to leave Ix. Under the rule of Paul Atreides, power on Ix gradually shifted from the Great House Vernius to a council of technocrats. The council negotiated a bit of sovereignty for the planet, resulting in the establishment of the Ixian Confederation. Later, under the reign of God Emperor Leto II Atreides, real computers, which were forbidden, were secretly produced on Ix. When the Atreides Empire fell, the Ixians developed special no-ships capable of traveling without a navigator or melange. Thanks to these ships, people ventured into distant, unexplored worlds. During the times of the Scattering and the Famine, the Ixian Confederation became the most formidable power within the Shattered Empire. They maintained their influence until the return from the Scattering of the Honored Madres, who took power away from Ix. Of course, other planets were mentioned in the Dune universe, such as the Witch's Planet, Rossack, or the Bene Gesserit base, Wallach 9. But I might tell you about them another time if you're interested. That's all from me. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to rate it, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell. Your activity is the best reward for me. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.